Uh-oh. Your channels are ready. 3, 6, 5, 6.
Are we live?
6 of 6, 6 of 5, 4 of 5.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
4 or 5 doesn't sound right, but...
It's like that bank, Fifth Third Bank.
What's that?
Discord.
What?
Move us in Discord. So we're in Discord.
Oh, we're in Discord. But I'm looking here. It says
Some people are listening.
5 of 5 here on chat.
Yeah,
That's almost 100%.
Wasn't it 6 of
Discord
6?
is in there too.
What's that?
Well, Mixer is off right now because we have to do a streamer review. But
What now?
it's a new thing because they're trying to keep shitty.
So they found us and booted us out?
So they're trying to keep us off?
It's just for everyone.
Are
It's
you
like Twitch
fucking
had-
kidding me? Fuck you,
No.
Mixer.
Who are those?
Because
Who the-
Twitch had porn on their main
Twitch had
site,
porn on
like,
it? Wait,
Okay, let's
where-
go to Twitch now. And
What?
just
That's
double check.
gross. That's
No,
disgusting,
no,
Ian. Which
no.
channels was it that had porn on it?
No.
Which ones were the ones? Hi, everybody.
Send us your favorite. No,
Send
don't
us-
do don't do
send
that.
us. Don't
That
send
is
us
a-
your favorite
no,
porn. Don't do
Never
that.
do that.
Hello, everyone. Zach, hello.
Hello.
Allison. Got
Glad
a
you
Zach.
guys
You got a
can join us.
Zachary. You got a Topher. You got a Brian. Hey, it's Brian Ego.
Brian!
Oh, Brian, how are you, buddy?
Look at that.
Gosh, I remember when he drove. We visited Glasgow, and I sit in the front seat of that car for the first time ever.
That roller skate?
Going, we're going. It's the first time ever. I'm in the driver. What would be the driver's seat of a car
In a real country.
in the basically in the passenger seat, and the whole time I'm just hands on the dashboard, just fucking crazy because it's the scariest shit in the world. It's like being on a roller coaster.
Yeah. Well, you're on the wrong side. You're on the side where that's the drivey side, and you're not driving.
I know. It's
Everything
terrifying.
feels wrong about that.
It was terrifying.
Yeah. It's a fucking fun house.
But
it's like 60-mile-an-hour fun house.
But Brian and we had such a great time in Glasgow.
Well,
that
it was an
such
incredible
a great time.
host, man.
It was an incredible host, and that group in Glasgow was kick ass.
Yeah,
they
they
were
were
awesome.
fun.
They were super sweet people. That was great.
I would go back and drink Earn Brew.
I wouldn't go back and drink Iron Brew, but I would go back.
Would you
I
not
would
try
go
some
back.
Earn Brew?
No, God, no.
I would have some
Iron
Earn
Brew
Brew.
is awful. Come on now.
It was good.
F in chat for Iron Brew. Sea sail.
Good.
Guys,
All right.
You guys
so-
got to be nice to me now. You got to be nice to me.
Who did it? I mean, who did this? Who do anything to Cecil? He hasn't done anything to anybody. He hasn't done anything to anybody.
What is that from? I
That's
forgot
from
what
Loving the Batman.
Oh,
That's
my
from Loving the
God.
Batman when he's like, Cecil wouldn't do anything to anybody. So every time you
forgot
guys are
about
mean
that.
to me in chat, I'm going to play that. So.
Facebook crashed.
Did Facebook crash?
Oh,
The
no.
entire site of Facebook crashed?
No microphone problems in Jesus' name.
Oh, I got
that's
another
great.
one for you, Tom. This is one of my favorites.
Okay. These are new.
Lord, the day is at hand. We are in the last days. You are Jehovah God.
Oh, I remember this. You're a Jehovah God. That was Michelle Bachman, right?
I miss that lady, Michelle
Oh.
Bachman. I miss Michelle Bachman. She was great.
What a wonder she was.
She was something else.
Remember,
she
like,
really was.
do you remember being worried about Michelle Bachman? Those were wonderful days.
There was a whole, it's funny because we're going to be talking about the clown car that is the Democratic. Democratic contenders, I don't know, nominees,
Candidates or whatever? Yeah.
We're going to be talking about them this hour. But when it was like 16 Republicans, we were just like, oh my God.
And then we have
Get out of here.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, at least with this group, you have Elizabeth Warren, you got Bernie Sanders, you got a few people in there that you're like, that guy's, I would do that. There's like
Right.
5 of the 10 that I would definitely be fine with if they were president.
There's at least 4
Yeah.
off the top of
Yeah.
my head that I'd be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
really good. I'd be
Yeah.
thrilled.
Yeah.
I would be thrilled to have, well, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it, but-
I would be thrilled. There's at least 4 that I'd be
But
like.
when it came to
yeah,
the
A+.
Republicans, you're just like, the best one is Ted Cruz? You're just like, Ted Cruz is the best one?
Yeah,
Ted
there is
Cruz
a-
isn't even his wife's favorite partner. Are you kidding me?
As invertebrates go, he was one of the few that
God.
made it that
Good
that high up.
Lord. All right. Well,
Yeah.
we are going to cover a story before we get into that stuff because we want to make sure that we start everything off with a story. Get everybody in the stream. We only have a few people in the stream right now.
Yes,
we want to
indeed.
get more people in the stream. Hello, everybody. As people are still saying hello. Hopefully, Facebook is back. It is back because we got comments
fine.
from people. It's fine. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So
Good.
Here we
Glad
go.
It's working.
Glory. Somebody said glory hole motherfuckers. I got this too. Hold on a second.
I said, who's that guy
nice.
on the
Isn't that
other
nice?
side of the glory hole? It's Jesus.
It's scary. All right. So we're gonna get started here. Okay. So this is the story we're gonna cover.
All right, so this is great. This is Right Wing Watch. Chris McDonald and Mark Taylor agreed, because they're usually so far off, that Hurricane Dorian is a false flag.
Oh.
Real quick, can I just point out that
Sure.
I love that this hurricane is named in a way that kind of rhymes that horrible fruit. That nasty, disgusting, vile
never had
vomit
it.
fruit.
I've never had it.
A durian fruit is it's so foul smelling that it's banned on public transportation.
Who eats a giant fruit? It's like you're burying your face in a watermelon on public transportation. You're
like a
eating,
honeydew
eating a
melon.
whole cantaloupe. You're just like, oh, gah, 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 gah. Who does that anyway?
It smells so bad that they they thought there was like a gas leak on I think it was a train
No
or
shit.
something. They evacuated.
Really?
And it turned out to be a durian fruit.
No kidding.
Yeah, it's that foul. It is that unbelievably foul.
I used to ride the Metro at night, like home from Chicago.
Yep.
And my favorite story is a dude was sitting in the Metro, and he's this giant guy, and he's got a bucket of chicken. And it's a whole bucket of chicken, and he's resting it on his stomach, and he's
gotta love
leaning
this
back,
man.
and he reaches into the bucket, and he pulls out a drumstick, and then he takes his he opens his unhinges his jaw. He puts it and his fist in there, and then basically
the bone out?
I'm not kidding. He pulls the bone right out. He did it. He deep throated a chicken leg and then pulled all the meat off. Of
Crunch and everything. just
whatever
the whole-
the fuck is in there, and then he pulled the bone out, and then he put the bone back in the bucket, and then reached for another piece out of the same bucket, and I was just watching it in awe, wrapped in awe. I cannot believe that this is happening.
Was he trying to get a grinder date?
I
Was This is gonna be like instead of he's just gonna have a video advertising of him just eating chicken.
It's just him eating chicken. Man, it was amazing though.
Holy shit!
I'll tell you what,
That's efficiency.
That
eating.
is really good stuff.
That's getting calories in the machine.
But that's one of those things, when you're eating something and you smell it, you're like, oh, that's good. But if somebody walks in with a gyro on a public transportation, you want to punch him in the throat. You're like, what is wrong with you? You're going to take a fucking garlicky ass gyro on here and waft that shit around.
I get if you want to eat a stink food,
Yeah,
right? There's
right.
some foods
Oh,
that are
absolutely.
just I love
and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I love gyro. I love, fucking love it.
But there's some things that are stink foods, and you have to recognize that that's for the shame of your own home, right?
You gotta do that. You do that in a wife beater shirt with stains on it, in your boxers, with your shades drawn.
There are foods that I won't even eat. Like if Haley is going to be gone and I'm not going to see her, I'll be like, oh, that's a good time for me to eat certain things that are stinky.
Sure.
I love olive tapenade, right? But if I eat olive tapenade, it fucking reeks. Then I reek. It's a whole reeking situation.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, the same is more true of public transportation. That's not your time for a tuna sandwich.
Could you imagine eating a muffalata? Right? It's dripping all up. It's oh, that's amazing.
Sardines on the train. Get the fuck out of here.
You're just flipping the tails on the ground. All right, so this is Chris McDonald talking about Hurricane Dorian, false flag. We're going to start playing it right now. Here we go. Let me call up here. How's our sound, by the way? People in chat, let Ian know if we're clipping, because last time we were laughing, sometimes we were clipping. So if you hear a weird sound, let Ian know. Ian will jump in and tell us if we sound terrible. Okay, so just do that favor for us. So if we sound good, that's great. But if we starting to sound like we're clipping the audio, just let us know.
Real quick, Cecil, this is part of the Monday Night Spiritual Smackdown.
Which one has the belt? Which one has the WWE belt they come in
From the top cross, here comes Chris McDonald.
He's climbing up there. Andy's got a cross on his shoulders
Right?
as he climbs up to the top. It's like Inception crosses going on.
How fucking money would WWE wrestling, Christian wrestling be? Where they're all like, it's Samson fighting.
I don't
pauses, names another biblical character.
Goliath.
There you go.
Is it a Goliath? Is that one of them?
He's got a sling or
Is
whatever.
that Greek? I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, here we go.
amazing.
This is the firefighter Mark Taylor.
If you go back to last week, what were we talking about last week? We were talking about 1 James Comey. James Comey.
One James Comey. This is version 2.0 James Comey.
He said James Comey.
Yeah.
I've listened to this clip twice, and I did not know what he was saying.
So you didn't know what he's talking about?
Because his voice sounds all crazy. It's like, one Jig Frickum. Like, it's just one Jig Frickum.
So you didn't even know what he was talking about. You didn't know what he was referring to.
I was just punting on this
I always thought it was talking about version 1 of James Comey. Once he got fired, that's version 2.
Okay.
And so the old case doesn't fit anymore. You need to go out and get a new charger.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
I got the one.
Got to upgrade all my apps for James Comey.
This happens every time. They upgrade the James Comey, and your old James Comey doesn't work right. They say they're not doing it on purpose, but they're doing it on purpose.
This James Comey's slower. He's like, "Grr, brr, brr, grr."
Where am I going to plug my headphones into this James Comey?
He lost the headphone jack in the latest upgrade.
Was getting basically not exonerated totally, but they were telling us that the memo
Spit it out. Spit it out. You can do it.
Was not going to be prosecuted, and Giuliani was on the television all weekend saying, "Look, guys, don't listen to this narrative that Jim Comey's out of the woods." He said he literally came out and said the arrests are coming.
He literally did not say that.
No.
He literally
You
did
can't
not say
find
that.
a clip of that happening.
There's not a clip of him saying, the arrests are coming.
Here's Giuliani saying, no, this is your fucking wet dream fantasy.
No.
Look, the arrests are coming are as likely as these guys' wives coming. It is not going to fucking happen. Right? They're living someday in the hope. Like, it's like, oh, somebody's got to come. It's not anyone in my home, so maybe it's arrests. I don't know.
And if you'd like to make your wife come, you can go to adamandeve.com, type in Gloria at checkout, get a bunch of free stuff, free shipping. All you have to do is type in Gloria at checkout.
Smooth
Smooth
segue,
transition.
buddy.
There we go.
Nicely
I do
done.
these all the time. I'm so
really
good at
good
it.
at
I'm
it.
so good at it. Nobody even notices. It's like subliminal programming at
They're
this
like,
point.
people are like, I should go to
I should go to
adamandeve.com. Doesn't even
Adam
feel
and
like an ad. What?
Be patient. The prosecutions are coming, and this is not the end of the deal for anybody, including one James Comey. And he basically came out and said, Mark, that Comey was the architect of this whole Russia stuff.
Yeah, Comey's more fucking powerful than the president as a fucking fired FBI agent. Yeah, that's what he is. I love these people that think somehow this guy is the fucking most ultra powerful fucking mastermind in the world, and you're just like, what did he do? Did he fucking brainwash Mueller?
What world are we living in where James Comey, who like kind of sunk the Hillary campaign, is now an enemy of the Republicans? He's the reason you've got Trump.
Yep.
What did we miss that part of the fucking program?
Almost like a perfectly orchestrated fucking thing where it's like, and it's funny because, that might not, that's not orchestrated. Him still doing that's not orchestrated, but the Facebook campaigns that came out right as it happened.
Yeah.
That's.
Also, James Comey is the guy who did the, how about Putin? How about Russia was in charge of the Russian campaign?
Read through the second part of the Mueller report. How many times are you going to see James Comey?
Yeah.
It goes back to him. And I'm going to tell you something. When you get these stories and all of a sudden, boom, you got almost a Category 6 storm. You got 2 shootings.
That's not even a category.
Almost a Category 6. I've turned this amplifier up to 11.
Yeah. Right, you can't just adding it. It's like 6G.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We need more G's.
It's like
gotta have more categories.
It's like a 22 on the seismic scale. 22, 23, whatever it takes.
Hey, you could just add a number. That means it's more. That's how numbers work. You're stupid.
Category 6.
Nearly. It almost
it's
reached
nearly.
that
It's
level.
close. It's like yeah.
It don't take a political
earthquake off the Oregon coast.
Earthquake after the Oregon coast. It does.
He just said after.
Hold on, an earthquake after the Oregon curve. Let's hear him say that again, guys, because that was pretty awesome.
God, he is a
Here we go.
fucking articulate man.
Here we go.
An earthquake off the Oregon coast.
Earthquake after the Oregon coast.
Earthquake
up the He just like freezes. You need a fucking 2.0 Chris McDonald at this point. Jesus Christ.
He just got startled because somebody plugged in the headphone jack in the middle of that sentence.
That's not the right port. Whoa, wait a minute.
Whoa.
This isn't I don't go in that port.
That's not the charger.
That's an out port.
It does not take a genius to figure out. It's
Well,
called
that's
a
good
distraction.
because you guys wouldn't have a hope of it.
You guys couldn't find your ass with both hands, so
and it's called a red flag or false flag or whatever we call it.
It's called.
Wait, is he saying a fucking Category 5 hurricane is a false flag?
It's called a false flag, but it's a red flag or whatever we call it.
Category 5 hurricane is a false.
It's a false flag.
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna need you guys to do. We need to create a distraction. So is there any way that you guys could just like, I don't know, like 10 of you just swim really fast in a circle? Just get this thing started. Can we just get like the most powerful thing on Earth? Something that humankind can't even come close to even recreating a tiny portion of. Can we just make one of those to distract people?
Okay, Cecil, you're saying that like it's silly, but I mean, obviously these are Navy-trained dolphins that swim in the circles. Like it's
they're actually they fitted them with that new Russian rocket, so they go 35,000 miles an hour. They spin around.
35,000. Why? That's 5 times the speed of sound.
But are you concurring with that? Do you feel like that's...
Are you concurring with that?
Are you concurring?
Are you concurring with that, Tom?
Brother, look, last week I think I went public for the first time about the hordes of chaos being released.
No, thank goodness. Thank goodness.
Whoa.
He had a whole press conference about the hordes of chaos.
Mark Taylor's been pretty quiet about the hordes of chaos. Have you guys noticed? He's barely even talking about the hordes of chaos. That's an amazing magic card, by the way.
Yeah, it's totally great.
Yeah.
3 black, 3 colorless.
Is that actually I think that is a magic
create
card.
A false flag. Tap to create a false flag.
There should be like a fucking magic style game where you like play like right-wing Christian conspiracies. Okay, I'm gonna tap Comey and I'll play false flag.
There used to be a playing card game. Someone will correct me, but I'm pretty sure it was called Illuminati, and it was a playing card game that had all these crazy things. So it was like it came out. I remember having cards for it. I don't know. I sold all my cards back in the day, but I remember when collectible card games were a thing.
Right.
It was something that I had purchased some of, and it was like a set. You bought a set. And it was an Illuminati set, and you would play, and there would be all kinds of, and it was all the crazy shit that you like, the fucking Masons and the this and the that, and it was all that in there.
There should be a QAnon collectible tradable card game.
QAnon card game. Somebody do this.
And it should just be all of his jibber jabber.
And you owe us 5% because we thought of it.
That's a great idea.
You owe us 5%. Whoever makes this, you owe us 5%.
My idea is to have the ideas, and somebody else should do the work.
You need to do all the work. You all do the work. I'm going to be like Tom this time too. Somebody needs to do the work. Ian, get on it.
Man, maybe I should have kept my mouth shut because, this is no joke, man. The hordes of chaos have been released. Satan's pastors have been activated.
I've just been tapping them, eating land like crazy.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Hordes of chaos, Satan's pastors. This game plays itself.
Satan's pastors would be amazing.
We're seeing all these things happening right now. Like you said, the storms, the shootings. Even the deep state right now, Chris, is paying attention to the comms.
Yes.
The what?
The claws or the paws.
Did he say comms?
Or the claws.
He might have said comms.
Or the maws.
Let's
or the paws?
And then there's Maud. All right, let's see.
Even the deep state right now, Chris, is paying attention to the comms.
He's saying comms. I think he said comms. COMS. I think so. Let's see.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
They're paying attention to our comms as far as like Q, all these things, what the president's doing.
I see. So that's a way to make YouTube conspiracy channels sound like they're kind of like a military-style communication of actual importance.
Yeah. So if you take some random dipshit, and then you turn and put him out loose on an anonymous board somewhere,
right?
Then that's a real communication from some. Can you believe these people that are seriously like reading an anonymous board and thinking that they're getting actual information from something like that?
Wouldn't that be more of a con?
They're reading our cons. Yeah.
So they know what's coming. Look, people are freaking out about this stuff with James Comey. Oh my gosh, he got off this, that, and the other. I just like, look, time out, man. Pump the
You know what's
brakes
important,
there,
Cecil? When you're on camera like Chris McDonald, make sure that your fucking head is pointed at the camera. Just for a long time, just make sure you're
pressing your face up against the camera. Yeah.
Because that makes for great video.
Is he reading notes right now, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know what he's doing.
I can't tell. Maybe he's trying to squirt like we talked about earlier. I don't know.
Bro, he's not getting off on these charges.
He's not getting off, but Chris is getting off.
Yeah,
so,
that's what's happening right now.
These little trumped up charges. Why do we want to waste our time with these little trumped up charges And the bigger stuff is coming. These guys are going to be indicted. They're going to go to jail. They're going to go to prison.
Maybe we shouldn't ever waste time on trumped up charges. Like maybe if we're going to charge people with things, they should never be trumped up charges.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we should avoid those in the future.
We don't want little trumped up charges. That's a waste of time. What we want is big trumped up charges.
The largest trumped up, big, huge trumped. That's amazing.
If you're going to lie, lie big or go home. Say it out loud.
So, I mean, it's coming, guys. We just have to be patient, but it's not by coincidence.
You just have to milk it. It's coming. Just be patient.
Just keep playing with it.
Tickle the balls. It's coming.
Hordes of chaos have been released because they know their time is short, Chris. They know their time is short. They know what's around the corner.
He keeps on like he's like begging his audience at this point to just be like, please trust me. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Even though no proof whatsoever has been laid out and nothing has happened that I said has happened so far.
Well, didn't he establish a timeline? He's on the record now with a timeline.
I thought he was.
1,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I thought he was. Jan 1 was what he said. Yeah, because he was saying that it was gonna be happening over. So Hillary's got to get arrested by then.
Something's got to happen.
Yeah. Got to bring Hillary back into the mix somehow.
Like literally anything has got to happen.
FISA, OIG is right around the corner, man, and they know it's coming, and this is why the hordes of chaos have been released. And we just look, this is the most dangerous time, as we can tell, we've got one of those deadly hurricanes sitting not even 50 miles off the coast here. And so this is one of the
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Well, it's dangerous. Hurricanes are dangerous, Cecil.
But okay,
that's what makes these dangerous times.
So earlier, didn't they just say it was a lie though, with a false flag?
No, the hurricane I think is real. Here's what I think: the hurricane is real.
Please explain this. Jesus.
All right, here we go, Cecil. I mean, first of all,
here we go. No, I fucking
obvious.
No, hold on. Let me put on my smart thinking glasses real quick. All right,
Whoa.
now I'm smarter. Go
Settle
ahead.
down there, Rick Perry.
You can just put me in charge of the energy department. I don't really know what it does.
Something about oil or nuclear.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what it says.
I'm going to eliminate it. Hold on. It says right on my hand. I think what he's saying is that the hurricane is real, but the hurricane is not just a random weather event, that it is a purpose-built hurricane by the evil weather machine controlling Democrats to distract good, honest Republicans from James Comey. And I don't know why that wasn't just... Cecil, why are you doing the face thing you do when I say stuff?
All right, let's watch more of this.
Okay, all right.
Jesus Christ, man.
Most dangerous times right now for us, per se, because this is war.
Yeah.
But that hurricane right there, that's a declaration of war against the people.
What? He thinks somebody is controlling that?
Yeah, that's a weather machine made. Because you can just go to geocities.org or whatever.
But is it not God? GeoCities. Is it not God who's controlling it, though? Are they saying that God doesn't control these things?
Okay, so I can't even believe I have to explain this.
You do have to explain this. I'm sorry. It's just I don't understand how the mechanism works.
So here's how.
Is there a flux capacitor?
So
I need to put
some hurricanes.
Some sort of...
Put banana peels in the top. And uranium up the Uranus.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then
Caliente. I mean, like, literally, it's very hot. Yeah, it's...
If there's gay people who recently got something, then that hurricane is from God.
Okay. Oh, no. Okay, so
right?
Okay.
So if somebody somewhere sucked a dick, then a hurricane is Jesus, right?
Right.
So that you'll stop doing that to bail out or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And then, but it won't be wherever the dick was sucked. It'll be like some
somewhere
southern
else. Yeah.
place.
It'll be on a coast, let's say. Let's say a coast. And say, like, if we had a gay pride parade in Chicago, there would still be a hurricane that hit Florida.
Right. Yeah.
It wouldn't hit
here. It
here.
would be the hurricane that hit San Francisco.
Yeah. It wouldn't be a hurricane that hit Chicago.
Right.
Got it. Okay.
So not a
All right. So that's the first way.
But if the hurricane doesn't coincide with a gay pride parade, then it's made by weather machines controlled by Jews and Democrats.
Do they have to fight over it? Do they have to like arm wrestle?
Well, they're kind of one and the same.
Turn their hat backwards and
but they do have to take off their skin for their lizard face before they can really get in.
Yeah. Maybe they just do it with their tails. Their tails wrap around each other and they do the
Well, when they do, it's like a switch.
It is. They turn it right back.
What do the shootings, the hurricanes, and all these things that are being generated, what does it have to do? It has to do with really a couple of things, but one thing in particular. The same thing Hitler did to London, England during the Blitz.
Yeah, he sent a hurricane to London, England, and he sent school shootings. That's what he did. He gave them AR-15s, widely dispersed AR-15s.
That's crazy. You can't just buy one of those at a store.
Blitzkrieg. That's right.
They're literally trying to...
Did he say Blitzkrieg? Hold on a second.
Yeah,
Hold on.
in particular. The same thing Hitler did to London, England during the Blitz.
Blitzkrieg. That's right.
They're literally.
Wait,
Is that the Blitz? And he's like Blitzkrieg.
did they didn't Blitzkrieg London though? Unless I'm
No, they did. Yeah.
Did they Blitzkrieg it though? I thought Blitzkrieg had to do with like actually like getting in there and like actually attacking, like getting and taking it over.
Could be wrong, but I thought
Maybe
Blitz
Blitzkrieg's just the
is
attack.
just
It's
short
not
for
the actual.
Blitzkrieg, and
It's not the
Blitzkrieg-
actual attack. Or the actual attack. I don't know. Maybe my German's not good because I don't speak German. So
No, I don't either.
yeah, my German's not good. I need my app.
I thought I thought
Maybe
it was
you're
the
right.
same,
Maybe
but I could be
maybe it is
wrong.
the Blitz. Maybe he's right. Maybe
Yeah.
he's right. Maybe
I could be wrong. I don't know.
literally trying to kill the will of man.
literally trying to kill the will of man.
Amazing.
Literally,
That's
guys.
literally what's trying to happen with that hurricane.
Literally. All right. So we should do the Democratic thing. What do you guys say? How's the chat doing? Chat looks like we got about several people here, so we're doing it. Blitzkrieg
Blitzkrieg with tanks. Okay, I'm wrong about that.
Blitzkrieg is with
Yeah.
tanks. I thought it was too, but hold on.
Learn to pronounce. Noun, an intense military campaign intended to bring about a swift victory. It
Oh, there you go.
was a name for their overall war strategy, not a specific strategy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
London Blitz refers to Germany's air campaign. Thank you. Okay. All right. Hey, Trevor can answer. Did you get blitzed? Trevor, you're from the UK. All right. So we have another one of those ranking things because we had so much fun ranking those cookies.
Are you going to make me eat something again?
You're going to have to eat one of the Democratic candidates.
Okay, that changes how I was going to rank them. Although not that substantially.
All right.
It's
All
true.
right, here we go.
All right.
Okay, so let's actually talk. So how would you like to do it? Would you like to talk about just our general idea of what we think is important first? You want to do that first?
Yeah, because we talked about this a little bit before the show, and we're aligned on most of these things, but I think we're apart on a couple.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
them. So in terms of like what we find to be our key issues,
Yeah,
right?
We're
So-
single issue voters.
Yeah.
So for me, it's abortion.
Yeah.
No abortion.
I want everyone to have at least one.
I
Like
want
a good.
I want there to
solid-
never ever be abortions, and I want women to be chained with children. That's what I want constantly. So anyway, so what we're not saying. I'm not single issue. I have a couple. I have three.
Yeah, I've got 4 issues
Yeah.
that I think would be.
Yeah.
When I look at a candidate and I think like you got to be where I need you to be on these 4 issues
Yeah.
in order for me to be real excited about your candidacy.
Yeah.
So, the issues, and we can talk about them in more detail, but the issues that I've got are universal child care. That's one of my top issues. Single payer health care, not some reform bullshit, like single payer health care. Environment as a key principle, and there's a subset of things that are kind of necessary there. And then education. On education, I think at the very least I would want to see, and I'd be okay on education with a partial community college or junior college. I don't know that I necessarily need to see a candidate go all 4 years in order for me to be excited. But I'd like to see some subsidy that gets students to have at least a couple of years of education to kind of get their toe in the door. Toe in the door? Toe in the water? Foot in the door?
Foot in the door.
Okay. But put your toe in the door.
Penis in the door.
I guess
Don't
if it's just
recommend that
community
one.
college, it's just your toe in the door.
I don't recommend that one anyway.
Yeah.
So.
So those are my
Yeah.
4 issues
Yeah.
that I really need to see.
For me, education's pretty high. I want to see reform in some way. Like you say, I don't mind if it's not like free college for all.
Right.
I think that's a great pie in the sky sort of thing that we should shoot for. Free college for people where it's not free. It's like everybody pays for everybody to go to school so we can all just better ourselves. It's nice to better ourselves. So I think that's a nice thing to shoot for, but I don't expect it, right? I definitely think there should be some debt relief. I think there's plenty of people who went to school thinking they were going to get a job after school, and they're like a PhD and they're doing nothing. They're like, they've got an immense amount of school that they went to, and they're not even utilizing that degree because there's no market for it.
Right.
And we were sold a lie by the boomers that you get that diploma, you get that sheepskin, you get a good job. That was the lie that everybody was sold when they were a kid. I know I was sold that lie constantly my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm sure plenty of people in chat can attest that's the lie they were sold, and that's not true for a lot of the people today, especially the millennials that wound up going to school. They wound up getting all the schooling, and it happens just right around the housing crisis and right around the recession where they just can't get jobs. and those skilled positions aren't really the things that people are looking for anymore. And so you get fucked. You basically just have this giant bill you've got to pay off and nothing to gain from it. So I'd love to see some debt relief, and I don't mind if that debt relief is tiered. Doesn't matter to me. Like, I know that they have some tiered systems where they're like, yeah, the debt relief is going to be tiered. That's cool.
Right.
I want to see the people who are hurt the most get the most help. I always want to see that, and I think that that's an important thing.
Yeah. Well, the cost of education far outstrips the rate of inflation. And
Absolutely.
That's a crazy thing.
Absolutely.
How are you supposed to plan for that?
Yeah. So education's huge for me. I want to see somebody get in there and fucking tax the fuck out of rich people. That's what I want to see. I want to see somebody come in and be like, fuck you, pay me. That's what I want to see all the time. I don't want to see somebody pussyfooting around. And there's a couple of these candidates that are just really, really weak sauce on that shit, and it makes me sick because they're basically, what I think a lot of people disliked about Hillary, which is there's a lot of corporate sort of things going on in the background that make you think, well, Jesus Christ, like I want to make sure we tax these people. I want to make sure that the corporations get taxed. And some of these people are like, yeah, we should tax corporations, but let's not undo the Trump tax cuts that he gave them. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
like,
I don't understand that.
I don't get it at all. So there's a couple of these Democrats that are like that, and that makes me crazy. So tax the rich. I'm huge on that. The environment is big for me. The environment is one of those things that I'm like, I know that a lot of these people are very good on the environment. In fact, I think every one of these 10 candidates that are going to be in the next debate are really good on the environment. There's a couple that waver here and there, but most of them are very good on the environment. And that's great news, right? Is that you're not getting somebody who's just like wishy-washy on the environment. One of the best parts about the primaries is that certain people come in with pet issues. Swalwell, that young kid, came in there with the idea that he wanted gun control in the debate. And now everybody's talking about gun control. Inslee comes in. He's out of there now, but he brought everything back to
the environment.
Let's talk about the environment. And it has pushed everybody here to talk about the environment. Now, I don't know that he changed anybody's views, but he certainly brought enough attention to it so that everybody was asking those questions to the other people and made them take a stand. Yeah, it can't get right. Exactly. It can't get buried. And so healthcare for me is also huge. Single payer, I'm single payer too. I want to see single payer. All these people that are like, but people want to keep their insurance. I don't know anybody out there who's just like, man, I just love my insurance so much. Like, get the fuck out of here. Nobody's I don't have a poster of my insurance company at home. I don't wear my insurance company shirt. I don't fucking listen to their fucking podcast. I don't do any of that shit.
Right.
Nobody cares about their insurance company. They care about the coverage they get. And if you give them the same coverage that they had with their insurance company, no one's gonna fucking care, period.
Yeah. I guarantee that if you survey people's broad-based feelings about their insurance company, it won't even come close to their favorable feelings toward Medicare.
Yeah.
Medicaire's favorability ratings, 82%. 82% of people have favorable views of Medicare that are on Medicare. 82% of people I'm like anecdotally still, but like everybody hates their insurance company.
Yeah.
I work for a Fortune 500 company. I have insurance to a Fortune 500 company. I fucking hate my insurance.
Yeah.
It's so expensive.
I work for a company that has a lot of employees too, and my insurance isn't great either.
Right.
It's a PP. I switched to a PPO from an HMO because the HMO, I didn't pay a lot, but I fucking waited forever.
Yeah.
So it's either don't pay a lot. Hold on a second. Excuse me, folks. Either don't pay a lot, right? You wind up paying just your premium and $20 copays, but you got to wait like 5 weeks to see a fucking doctor, or it's the other way around, which is what I switched to, which was a PPO because I'm not very sick very often. But when I go in, it's just like, I got to pay you what now?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's one or the other. Either you pay now or you wait. Those are your two options. All these people are like, yeah, you got to wait forever in these other systems. Fucking, I had HMO. I didn't fucking wait forever.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking wait. I'd call in and be like, yeah, I'm really sick. And they'll be like, the earliest I can get you in is a week and a half. And I'll be like, I won't be sick then.
Yeah. When I hurt my back, I decided in the middle of October, all right, I got to go get surgery and get this fixed. It took me till March.
Yep.
It took me from October to March to get that fucking back
and everybody
surgery.
says that in other countries.
Right.
Oh, it takes forever. Well, it takes forever here too.
Don't pretend it doesn't.
That's the nature of medicine, period. So a couple of things we're not going to talk about. We're not going to talk about gun control because everybody seems to be mostly on the same page. Now, some people are for mandatory buybacks. Some people are for voluntary buybacks. Some people are for banning of certain weapons, assault weapons.
Right.
And so they'll vary throughout. But the difference is that I don't think any of that stuff goes through.
No.
And so it's one of those things where you're just like, well, I don't know that we're going to change that.
Yeah, I'll go a step further than that. And I'll say, like, even if it goes through, I don't think any of those things actually make any difference in curbing the number and amount of gun violence in significant ways. Like, I don't think there's ever going to be a mandatory buyback. That's not a thing in America with the Second Amendment, right?
Yeah.
There's no mandatory buyback of my guns.
It's mandatory buyback of just assault weapons, but I get it. I understand what you mean.
But even banning assault weapons, that's not going to fundamentally change the vast majority of the violence, the gun crime that we have.
Yeah, it's handgun
assault
violence,
weapons. Yeah, assault weapons are a drop in the bucket in terms of like how often. If you're trying to get that big number down, you're not getting the big number down.
Right.
And the same is honestly true of background checks. I think all those things are a good idea. I don't think any of those things make a big enough difference against the real numbers and statistics that drive gun violence, right? Gun violence is a domestic violence issue.
Yeah.
That's what most, well, not most, but a lot of gun violence is a domestic violence issue. It's a crime and gangs issue. That's handguns.
Self-harm issue.
Right.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
self-harm.
Self-harm.
And accidents.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are big issues when it comes,
Right.
but you can mandatory buy back all the AR-15s and it's not going to stop the accidents. It's not going to stop a lot of the people that are going to self-harm. So there's a lot of, you're right. I don't know that that's a big thing. I think every single one of these people wants to legalize pot. There might be one or two people who don't, but everybody wants marijuana legalization. I think I think Klobuchar is the only one who's saying, I want states to decide, but I'll do it on a federal level.
Yeah.
And all the rest of them are like, I want to do it. Klobuchar, though, to me is not great
non-starter.
anyway. So we'll get to it, but not great anyway.
I'm right there with you. Like, I want to say, like, the reason I'm not excited about weed as one of the issues, 33 states already have recreational or medical. It's moving in that direction anyway. All the momentum, even with Republicans in charge, is on that direction.
Yeah.
So making that like a sticking point seems silly.
Yeah. Yeah. And it seems like, but it's one of those things. I will say, too, there's a lot of people here that I look through like the criminal justice stuff. Most of these people want to abolish the death penalty. They just want to get rid of it. They just want to abolish it. A lot of these people a lot of these candidates want to make sure that that there's no more cash bail, I guess, or something like that. It was a big part of what they wanted to do. Some of these candidates want to make it so felons while they're in prison can vote. So while you're in prison can vote. I don't know that I'm crazy about that idea. I got to think about it a little more. Part of me is like, I am, I think, probably a pretty forgiving guy most of the time, but there's a part of me that's like, wait, you're in prison? I think, you get your other freedoms taken away. Why shouldn't we take away this freedom? I'm willing to read some things about it and see where I sit on it. But right now, just intuitively, I feel that I'm like, wait until you get out. I'm okay with restoring your rights once you get out. You did your time. You did what you had to do. I'm going to restore your rights once you leave. But while you're in there, I'm leaning towards that's probably not a great call.
I'm not. That's not going to be an issue that motivates me one way or the other.
Either
right?
way, right. One way or the other, it's not going to motivate me to vote.
Right.
But it's one of those things that I just wanted to mention that's sort of where some people are sort of drawing their line. And then I think everybody here is very pro-choice, like very pro-choice, except for Biden, who wants some limits. So I think everybody here is very pro-choice. But again, it's one of those things like legalizing, like it's just like if you get a Democrat in there, they're not going to do anything for pro-choice. They're just going to open it up most of the time.
Yeah, and the thing too there is like to a lesser degree, although the reason this matters is it matters from a Supreme Court standpoint, right? Right. Because the Supreme Court will decide.
They're the ones who,
on that issue. So as long as you get a Democrat in, they're not going to put a pro-life candidate in the. So just get somebody from the left on that side, and we're okay. I think.
Yeah. So do you want to just start with go them in alphabetical order?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, so Biden's first. What do you think? So Biden, let me just talk about it. He's talking about 2 free years of college. So that's one of the things that he's talking about. He opposes Medicare for all. He wants to build on the ACA. That's his major thing. Boost defense spending and keep troops deployed. That's another thing that it's not a voting thing for me for that. Like that's one of the things it's like they're going to do what they do when they get in office based on foreign policy stuff that I really can't decide. So it's not a huge thing for me. But when they're like, I'm going to boost defense spending, I'm always like, really? That's where we're going to spend our money? He wants to, so for taxes, he wants to increase capital gains and raise corporate tax, but not higher to prior than 2017. And like I said, he wants some limits on abortion. What do you think of him just in general as a
I don't
candidate?
like him, man. He's an F for me.
Yeah?
He's a straight F.
Yeah, he's an F for me,
He's everything I don't want.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think he's electable. I think Trump would fucking mop the floor with this guy's gas.
He's got a lot of gas.
He's super gaffe prone. He's an old establishment white guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he can win against the other old establishment white guy. I don't pretend Trump is an establishment. Once you're president, you're establishment. in an old white man fight, Biden does not win that war.
Yeah.
He performed so badly and was so easily browbeaten in the first set of debates.
Yeah.
He'll get destroyed.
Yeah. And the one thing the crutch that he stands on, he does this thing. He's like Schrodinger's vice president.
Yeah.
When it matters and it's something that he can point to in the old administration that was really powerful, he'll say, I was in the old administration.
Right.
And then they'll be like, but the old administration did this. And he'll be like, I wasn't president.
Yeah, right.
So he loves to dance across this line where he's like, I was part of the old administration, but only when it benefits me because I'm over here and I was the vice president. It's like, dude, either fucking you smelled the old administration's hair or you didn't. Like that's either you're part of the old administration or you weren't. Fucking pick a fucking and that to me is weak sauce. It's like get the fuck out of here.
I think that's Biden in a nutshell. He doesn't pick a fucking lane.
Yeah.
He doesn't he feels like a guy who in many ways has been a pragmatic leader.
Yeah.
And in terms of like finding out like, all right, what direction is the wind blowing today?
Yeah.
And I get that.
It makes
in the
sense.
positions he's held.
It makes sense as a senator.
As the leader in 2020, he's not my guy. He's a fucking straight F for me.
Yeah. All right. So Cory Booker, interesting on his the criminal justice part for Cory Booker. He wants to scrap disparity in cocaine sentencing.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty
I like
powerful.
that,
I
yeah.
like that too.
That's a racial equality issue.
A lot of these people too want to eliminate private prisons. Biden didn't say anything about it, but many of these other people did want to eliminate. And he's one of these people. He's one of these people. Eliminate private. And to me, that's a great thing. I think that's a great thing. Let's get the private corporations out of incarceration. He wants to increase aid so students don't have to take loans. So his approach is not free college. His approach is let's get aid so we don't have to take loans out.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm pro AIDS though. That's always been. I've always heard bad things.
That's true. That's true. But I guess you don't go to college very long if you have it. So, one of the eliminated electoral college guys. He's one of those guys. I know we talked about this earlier. We don't. Neither Tom and I don't think that that's a possibility to eliminate because it has to be done through amendment, which is going to be real hard to do.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
There's an end around that Yang has that I think is really clever, and then that policy that they're putting forth where they're getting states to sign on. Whoever wins gets all our votes. Whoever wins a popular vote gets all our votes. And once they get to the magic number, it won't matter because then it'll basically bypass any amendment. So that's a way to bypass the electoral college. And then the way Yang, I'll mention it later, how he suggests you could bypass it too.
Sure.
Boost defense budget, keep troops deployed again for him. He wants to increase capital gains and double the cutoff for the earned income credit. Yep. So he wants to double the cutoff for that. Again, I think good stuff, helping people that need help with taxes. That's good stuff. What do you think of him?
I think Cory Booker is interesting, but I also feel like he's in many ways unelectable. I don't think America's excited about Cory. But I think one of the most important things, and I should have written this down, like there's issues and then there's who the candidates are.
Yeah.
And like, I don't think America's real excited about Cory Booker. I just don't. I think we need a candidate, to be honest, that can like get in and win and then accomplish shit. I don't see Cory Booker having the gravitas to do that. I don't.
I think Cory Booker, I've seen him do some of when he does Senate hearings and stuff, and he's been very quick-witted. And on the stage, I will say, he's been very quick-witted on the stage. So I will say, like his presence is there for me. And I like some of his policies. He feels a little hawkish to me, so I'm like I want to back off a little bit on the hawk, especially when there's other people in the primary that you're just like, well, this person's, not a hawk, and I'd like to go that route if I can. And primaries are all about, which car's your favorite, right? That's what primaries are all about. Of course, when Tom and I are talking about this, of course we're going to vote for whatever fucking Democrat. We shouldn't even have to say that out loud. Right. We're going to vote for whatever Democrat it is.
And we're going to vote.
Yeah. And we're going to,
we're going to vote.
We're going to vote. So there is a feeling out there that, that we shouldn't be saying anything bad about certain candidates. But I want to point out, there's people in here that I love, and there's people in here that I'm not crazy about. Booker's kind of in the middle for me. I'm not crazy for. I'm going to push him up to a B. I think
him a B?
I'm going to give him a B. I think he's quick-witted. I like him, but at the same time, it's like, and I'd love to, I'd love to have another person of color in there. That's awesome for me, but it's like, I don't know. There's a little bit in there, like that hawkishness that pulls back. Yeah. And again, he's not gung ho when it comes to colleges like some of these other people are.
Sure.
All right, Buttigieg.
I like Buttigieg. I like him, and there's a lot of reasons I like Buttigieg. I think he walks into a room, he's probably the smartest guy in the room. In most rooms he walks into, it's evident. I think we need a real intellectual firepower. We need real intellectual firepower in the White House. That's a need. It's a hard job. We need somebody who's a really fucking smart guy. I think Pete Buttigieg, despite a lot of criticisms to the contrary, to me, he feels very sincere. I believe him. I think that he's sincere. I think he's left in the ways that matter to me.
Yeah.
And I think he's
center in some ways too.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. But he's left in the ways that matter to me. Yeah. And I think he's pragmatic. I think when he comes up with a solution to something, he's got an idea of how it would happen.
Yeah.
I think some of these folks that when you listen to them, they don't have any idea of how they're going to make things happen.
Sure. Yeah. What do you think about him not having any federal government experience?
That doesn't bother me too much.
Okay.
It doesn't bother me too much. I think initially it did until I read more about who he was.
Yeah.
And got a sense of what he's accomplished and how fucking really smart he is.
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure that being senator I'm not sure that being a representative or a senator really translates into the Oval Office.
Yeah.
What about you? Does that matter to you?
You know, I see him as good on stage. I am leery, especially after this president with no real experience. I'm a little leery. I got to be honest. I'm a little leery of that. It's like, you know, this guy can't find his ass with two hands. I know that he's very much, you know, he's a narcissist and he's in it for himself, right? And I don't know that Buttigieg would be like that. I'm talking about Trump now. He's a narcissist and he's in it for himself. So I don't know whether Buttigieg would be like that, and I don't suspect he would. But I worry because, you know, Trump doesn't even know how things work. Like he genuinely, I mean, I think Buttigieg would know how they work again because he's a much smarter individual.
And I think he would find out if he didn't know.
Right. And I don't think he would speak if he didn't. So it's not a huge point for me, and it's never really been a huge point for me.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started talking about it, you're like, fucking South Bend mayor, fuck that guy. So I just wanted to see if that sort of, because he's changed your mind. I mean, he's clearly changed your mind, which is a good thing, right? Yeah. That shows. I've also heard people call him like a junior Republican. I know people that are
really? Why?
Like just think that they see how he's acted in South Bend and they don't like it. And so, especially when it comes to like that shooting and stuff like that, so they don't like how he's treated like the cops there and things like that, like they should have fired people and whatnot. And I know they called him out on stage for it.
Right.
I did like how he handled that, but again, you know, if you've got problems where you're from, it's hard to parse that out to decide whether or not.
True.
Yeah, but there are people out there that say that he's not a great candidate. I don't think he's great on college or college debt. He doesn't really have a lot going for him there. But when it comes to like, he wants an estate tax and a wealth tax. He's very good on immigration. He's okay on healthcare, not great, but okay. Cause he's one of these guys that's like, I'll take the Medicare for all if I can get it, but I'll do what I can, you know, sort of thing. I like the people who are like Medicare for all for us. I love those people, but you know, he's sort of leaning. So for me, I'm leaning towards like B on him. He's like a B for me.
Yeah, I'd go B.
He's not a top tier guy for me, but he's a B for me.
But I do find him exciting.
Yeah, and you know, here's what I like about him.
An LGBTQ guy.
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't know that we are. You know that don't get me wrong. Like again, like say the B guys are great. Would love to. I would be happy with either of these B guys as president. But when it comes to the people that I really want to run, it's, you know, those are the ones that I really want to see out there. Those are the ones that I plan on voting for. And I'm actually going to have a hard time voting this upcoming time. It's going to be difficult for me.
Yeah. I wonder who'll be left when we go.
Yeah. Castro's next. Now Castro is really further left than I thought. When I started reading his policies, I thought maybe he was a little more centrist, but he's actually further left than I thought. But again, no real experience. And unlike Buttigieg, doesn't feel like he has those, like the ways to solve these problems when he's on stage, but on fire for immigration.
Yeah. I feel like I'm not big on Castro at all. And the reason I'm not big on Castro is like, he's not elucidated clear policies and plans at all. When I was reading about him, you know, a lot of what you read is like, undecided, hasn't made a view on this. Doesn't
have any stance on defense at all.
Like, get out of here.
Yeah.
It's too late in the game for that kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like, here's who you are, here's what you stand for. You need to have policy positions on all of the major issues at this point, and they need to be clear. And to be honest, they need to have some kind of plan. They need to have some kind of pragmatism attached to them. Otherwise, it's a fucking genie wish list.
Yeah.
And I have no fucking interest in genie wish list bullshit.
Yeah.
That's kind of and genie wish list bullshit is the kind of promise-making nonsense that got Trump involved, right? I'm going to build you guys a wall. Don't know how. Here's what I'm going to do. All that shit, get it out of here.
Yeah.
Even if it's the shit I want. If you can't tell me how you're going to give me the things that I want to change the country in the direction I want it to go, I can't hear you right now.
Yeah.
So he's a D for me.
I will say he puts immigration, like just like Inslee was always bringing everything back to the one thing that he brings immigration to the front all the time, talks about it all the time. And he does have clear plans when it comes to immigration.
Yeah.
And some of these people want to keep you're a criminal if you come into the country instead of turning it back to a civil.
Surprising to me.
And it's surprising to me too. Some of these people are like, no, we're going to keep it. And then, but he was like one of the few people very early on was like, no, I would just eliminate that thing. I would eliminate that part of the law. That way there wouldn't be a criminal offense. It would be a civil offense and we would handle it civilly just like we did before. Obama wasn't at a fucking lack of deporting people. He deported millions of people through civil cases. You can still, get your deport on, if you want to. So I'm kind of right there with you. What you say, a D?
I'm a D. He's a D.
Yeah, he's okay. I'm
unexcited.
Yeah,
Would you go higher?
I would maybe go C on him. Mainly because I love the immigration stance he has. But I'll take this one for you. I'll leave this one for you. It's a D. Kamala Harris. So she has got a lot of people coming after her about her being an old DA. Is that what she was? Or a state's attorney or something?
She was all of those things.
Yeah. So they have a lot of people going after her for that. But I will say when I looked at her record when she's coming in to look at criminal justice, she was just as liberal as anyone else when it came to criminal justice.
Yeah, I think that's a false act.
Yeah.
Like, just because you were a prosecutor doesn't mean that you necessarily were the kind of prosecutor that is problematic.
Yeah. And even
the
if you
system requires prosecutors.
And I will say this, even if you were, you clearly have changed your mind, right? Like even if she was, let's just say she was. I look at her policies now and the things she's saying that she's not for a lot. Like she's saying she's for a lot of things. Like closing up the private prison. She's for, getting rid of the death penalty. There's a lot of stuff that she's for. And I'm like, okay, well, all that criminal justice stuff, that to me says, she has either changed her mind or she never really was there. Yeah. So I'm cool with it. I'm okay with it. She's not great on college cost or debt.
No.
Not great at all.
She's opposed mostly to
most of it. Yeah.
Free college and tuition assistance programs.
So for me, that's bad for me.
Problem.
That's bad for me.
Yeah.
But I got to say, I love her stage presence.
Yeah.
I love her stage presence. She has definitely done really well in a couple of these. And she's done it in the Senate hearings too. She's whip smart and just fast.
Yeah.
And I think her presence is very good. I would absolutely love to see a debate between her and Donald Trump. Like, I think that would be excellent.
Yeah. There's a part of me that would want her to be the front runner just for that reason.
Yeah, right.
Just because I would love to see Donald Trump get fucking owned on national television by a black woman. Yeah. How fucking baller would that be? That would be pants-droppingly fucking amazing.
It would be great. It would be great.
She's a great candidate, even though she's not as progressive as some of the candidates that I like the most, right?
Yeah.
For me, she's an A.
Yeah, I was going to say an A too.
Because she's electable, man.
Yeah.
I think her more centrist views combined with her bulldoggedness makes her electable. And if we have an electable, still left, but not as far left as I'd like, still left black woman in charge, that's a country-changing, like, generational moment that I would be excited to watch.
Right. Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to put it, right? She's certainly not as far left as I want. I will say right now, in the primary, she will probably not get my vote, right? I will rank her high here because I like her and would like to see her.
She only gets one vote.
But she only gets one vote. I can only cast one vote. Even though I'm in Chicago, guys, I can only cast one vote in the primary. And so I'm going to vote. Who I'm going to vote for is not somebody in the A tier. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a couple S tiers that I'm going to vote for. Klobuchar.
Who's excited about her?
God, she's so folksy.
Who is excited about? Oh, yeah, it's the senator from Minnesota.
She's also too corporate for me, man. All the stuff she's talking about with insurance. She's the one who's just like, everybody loves their insurance company. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. And she is not great for college or student loan debt. She's good on the environment, but she's not for Medicare for all. Like, there's a lot of things about her that are real bad. Yeah. I like the fact that, she likes to bring up the fact that she's constant. She's very electable. She talks about that. She's very electable. I don't know by who, but clearly in Minnesota, she's electable.
And that's the part that I want to talk about with her is that she does hype her. She said in a Meet the Press interview that I watched, like, I'm the strongest candidate. And she really touts herself, like you said, as being the most electable. Because she's not as far left. But the far left is where we have an opportunity to be.
Yeah.
Like, we have a voting bloc that is not going to turn out if they're not excited. And we need to get fucking young people excited. And the young people who need to get excited aren't that fucking young anymore.
Yeah.
We're talking about people in their 30s right
these
now.
are people in their
approaching
30s.
their 40s.
Yeah.
If we can't deliver for that demographic, then we can't deliver. Like, we just hand it back to the fucking Republicans.
Just have them keep it. Just have them keep it.
Now is the time to realize that, like, and I think it was Warren who said something like, why are you even here?
If you're not excited about it, yeah.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here with your, I'm electable, I'll just keep everything the way it is. I have it the way it is.
Yeah, if you don't have big ideas, get the fuck out of here.
She's a fucking F.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I think I'm going to give her a D just because I don't want anybody with Biden. So... All right.
That's so bad.
No, actually, I take that back. I want to put Beto with Biden.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just going to put him there now because I know for sure both of us are going to be an F, right?
I am excited about Beto.
Okay. So
nobody.
So one interesting thing is a couple of other people want to mandate paper ballots. Beto's one of those people, wants to mandate paper ballots, wants to take it away from any electronic voting machines. We talked earlier about, you and I had a conversation off camera about paper, and paper's a little better in that sense. It's more secure in that way. So, okay. He not great for college debt, good on the environment, good on gun control, but not for single payer, and he's not super great on immigration.
Yeah, this guy can go fuck himself. Yeah. He's boring as hell.
He's twitchy on stage.
Unprepared. Like, get the no. There's never going to be a President Beto O'Rourke. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So he's just not ready for it. You get a sense that he's unprepared to be at the place that he's at right now. It's not going to happen. Yeah. I'm not interested in him when he talks. I'm not excited. I don't find his stances to be left enough on the issues that I think we have an opportunity to be left on.
Yeah.
And the healthcare polls as one of the things that's most important to Americans right now. So if you can't get on fucking board with that, get the fuck out of here. It's maybe our chance to do something.
Yeah. It could be the opportunity to really change this system. Here's the thing. When I first saw Beto talking to doing the circuit for Ted Cruz, right? When he's running against Ted Cruz, I did like what he had to say. And when he was in those town halls, when he's in those groups, he felt like an empathetic guy. He felt like a guy who was listening to people. And I really like that about him. And I will say that that's an admirable quality, and it's something I would love to see in a politician. But then I see him on the main stage, and he feels way more conservative than he did when he was running against Ted Cruz. And I'm like, where did that guy go? Where did that guy, and like maybe he was there the whole time. And the only thing they excerpted that I saw up here in Illinois from Texas was the really liberal shit. And maybe he was right there with Ted Cruz on a lot of things, which is why he gave him a run for his money in a state like Texas. Yeah. Maybe that's possible. But it just feels like a different guy to me. He doesn't feel like the same guy. He feels unprepared, like you said. He feels wooden. He doesn't feel, I feel like him and Trump, I feel like he would get ruined by Trump.
He would get destroyed. So it's never going to happen. I wonder if he didn't feel liberal because he was in comparison with Cruz.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
All right. BS. What's up, Bernie? Bernie is fucking, I got to say, I love Bernie. I love Bernie. We were talking some shit about Bernie being old, and Bernie is old. Yeah. Bernie is as old as it can be. Yeah. Bernie is, when I heard him on Joe Rogan, the way he talks, by the way, play a clip of Bernie Sanders talking soft next to Noam Chomsky talking soft, and you cannot distinguish those voices. He sounds just like Noam Chomsky.
Really? He looks like Noam Chomsky.
I will tell you right now, I listened to it and I was like, holy shit, he sounds just like Noam Chomsky. He's got the same throat notes as Noam Chomsky. But I will say Bernie Sanders is on fire for the people. Yeah. It's one of those things. I got to play this. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go.
In recognizing a communist, Physical appearance counts for nothing.
So I will say this. Bernie Sanders is on fire for the people. Whenever you hear him talk, he is on fire for the little guy. And that's something you can't fake. You can't fake that shit. You can't pretend that you're on fire for the little guy. You hear him on Joe Rogan and he's just constantly talking about all these policies that help the little guy out. He doesn't like big corporations. He wants to get big corporations out of politics. He wants to make sure big corporations take care of their employees. Like he is... he's one of these guys who's been talking, when we talk about where people pull stuff, he's the guy who's pulling all the conversation to a minimum wage across the board. He's the guy who's pulling it to workers' rights. He's the guy who's talking about unions. He is making this about the worker, and it's awesome to see.
Yeah, I love Bernie Sanders. And it's funny because at the beginning, I was like, God damn it, don't re-enter the race.
Yeah, me too.
No, I was unhappy.
I was at the same level.
I contend that you can't listen to him and not be excited by him. I contend that you can't listen to Bernie Sanders and say, like, the problem I do have with Bernie Sanders is foreign policy-wise, it's fucking crickets.
The foreign policy I read is extract. Yeah. That's the foreign policy I read was like, maybe Syria and the rest of it is hard no.
I don't get a strong sense of his position with China. I don't know. And I think that's intentional because his whole platform is based on national domestic policy.
Yeah.
I don't have a strong sense of who he is as a foreign policy leader. And that I find troublesome because he's been in this twice now. Like he's been on the national stage twice now. And I don't have a strong sense of who he is from a foreign policy perspective. Yeah. That's my only criticism of Bernie. I fucking love Bernie.
I love
Sanders.
Bernie too. Tax the shit out of rich people. That's his, like he should just have that shirt. Just says tax the fuck out of rich people. That's what it should just say. He's an S tier for me.
He's
too.
An S tier. I never when he says something, I'm always like, yeah, fucking 100%.
He's an S tier for me. I love Bernie Sanders.
Yep.
I gotta say, I love Elizabeth Warren.
She's my double S plus.
She's my S as well. I'm gonna put her up there. Yeah. I just love Elizabeth Warren.
She's got my vote.
She's got right now. It's a real hard toss up, and for me, it's probably Liz Warren is edging him out just by a little bit. But my gosh, Liz Warren is just excellent. The shit she has to say, the way she approaches things, the real concrete plan she has. The number, like just stage present wise, to look at the camera and be like, there's X number of jobs out there there's X number of this. She just has stats and figures just to look at you and be like, I fucking read about this. Yeah. I know about this. Fuck you.
Here's why she's my S double plus. She's got my vote. I think almost for sure. Like unless something really dramatic happens.
Yeah, right. Unless she does a Howard Dean.
I would let her go with that.
I would let her go.
She can come on stage.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course.
And I think she's a full she's significantly stronger to me than Bernie.
Okay.
And the reason is, like, Bernie's excited and he's got a plan. But the way that he presents his charisma is off-putting. I find Elizabeth Warren to be likable. Yeah. I find her to be relatable. I think she cares, but there's an empathy and anger. Like, you get a sense that she's got a plan. She's thought this through. She knows how it works, and you can trust her with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Bernie is mad as hell and he's not going to take it anymore. And I love that about him. And I think he's got ideas. Yeah. I don't know that his ideas are the same as her plans. Yeah. Her plans feel extraordinarily concrete because she backs them all up.
Yeah. And she has just a ton of, all the stuff that I want is in her. Like same thing with Bernie. All the stuff that I want, it's in that person. Yeah. Like it's like they're there might be like some weakness here and there, and I'm sure I could find some if I looked for it. But I like when I listen to Liz Warren talk, and I'm just like, yeah, she's doing all the things. She's saying all the things that I want to hear. And I'll be honest, they're kind of running almost the same platform. Yes. You start looking at it, and it's like, you could feasibly have one be the vice president of the other pretty easily because they feel like they're in the same. And to be honest, I really wouldn't care too much who the front runner is. I would probably want Liz Warren, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if it was Bernie and it was Liz as the, I would love to see America elect Liz Warren as the first woman president. I think it would be amazing.
Yeah,
I think that'd be amazing. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen, going forward, but I got to say S tier all the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely love her.
I was going to say, like, all things being equal, it's not equal. Like, let's have a woman be president.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
If everything's the same,
equal, let's just do that.
Then, let's just say,
let's just change it up a little.
And especially right now, to beat Trump.
Yeah.
After 4 years of enshrined misogyny.
Yeah.
How awesome
How
would
great
it be
would- what-
for
what
her to
ki-
fucking curb stomp
And what
that
kind of
fucking
statement
guy?
would that be for the United States, the people of the United States, to say no?
Yeah.
We're not misogynists. We're going to change this.
After the Me Too movement,
Yeah.
after all this, after everything that's
What
happened
would
over
that
the
do?
last 3 years.
What would that do? That would be amazing.
Let's put our money where our mouth is.
That would be amazing. All right. So next is Andrew Yang. And so Yang, I'm going to read some of these things because he's got some really interesting policies, right? One, all the other people were talking about like eliminating the Electoral College. And I'll get to the Electoral College, but when it comes to voting, he's doing the exact opposite. It was people were talking about paper trail. He's saying instead, let's vote through app and use blockchain technology for security. And blockchain is what they use for Bitcoin. I don't know enough about it to know whether I hear it's a secure thing, but I don't know enough about it to know whether or not it would work. But again, it's a refreshing, interesting idea. It's certainly not a voting point for me. It's not something I'm like, yes, we should definitely do it because that's the best way to do it. And it's not something that I'm like going to the polls for. But it's an interesting thing that he's bringing to the fore. Again, as long as you bring it up, people will start thinking about it, and it'll bring it, and people will start talking about it. He's the UBI guy. He's the universal basic income guy. And I will say this, the one thing that makes me crazy about him is every single question that he gets asked on stage always comes back to, he'll be like, so what do you think about Syria? He's like, all I want to do is give $1,000 to every adult. And you're just like, this has nothing to do with that. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that money solves a lot of problems. I get that. So when they're talking about college, I get it. When you're talking about, talking people that don't have enough to eat, things like that, I get it. I understand. Money can fix a lot of problems. There's some problems money can't fix. And putting money in American people's pockets is not going to fix some problems. And so you've got to be able to talk about him. And he just feels like everything he says is, let's go back to UBI.
Yeah. I like Andrew Yang for being here.
Yeah.
I appreciate that he's here. I appreciate he's bringing up issues in creative ways. I don't think he's ever, no one's ever going to say President Andrew Yang.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I have to hit him for the unelectability piece.
Yeah.
Like if I'm being honest about like ranking candidates.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right about the single issue thing. Like he is exciting about I take that back. He is interesting. He's never been exciting.
Yeah. But he's definitely farther left again than I had thought I had heard. Because again, I heard that he's pretty centrist, and then I started looking at his policies. He's farther left than I thought. But I want to talk about this though real quick. He did talk about even though he's going to be doing that tax that UBI, he's talking about creating a value added tax, and it's a 10% value added tax through staples would be taxed at a lower rate or excluded, while luxury goods would face a higher rate. So he wants to create revenue. So he's going to basically put money in people's pockets. They will spend it, and then they will be taxed, and then they'll collect money back. That's how he wants to fund it, along with funding it from people who have changed their workers to machines.
Right.
He wants to tax those people more. So you took people off your line to put robots in. Okay, well, you got to pay for that. There's something you have to pay. You have to pay that helps pay that universal basic income that he's talking about.
And that's a huge worry for him. His biggest worry, I think that he's expressed from the interviews I've seen, is that America is going to automate itself out of business in terms of out of its workforce.
Yeah.
And if we do that, everything collapses, right? Because the American economy, like many economies, relies on the cyclical nature of money in the middle to move around in order to feed itself.
Sure.
And so if we break that chain by fucking employing tons of robots and automations and what have you, we're going to have problems.
Yeah.
That's going to be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I love that he's bringing that problem up.
I do.
Because I feel like that's a problem that we're paying relatively little attention to, but which has the potential to accelerate out of control before we have a hold of it. So I love that he's bringing this to the fore. I don't know that UBI is the solve for it. I don't know that it's not, though.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's not.
And I don't, you hear the other side is talking about inflation. So they're saying there's a lot of inflation that could happen because of this. They say the same thing about $15 an hour minimum wage. They say there's going to be a lot of inflation because of it. I will say this. I'm happy that he's doing this, and you never heard a presidential candidate talk about it before he did.
Right.
And so there's never been, at least not in my memory. Now you could correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, but I don't remember anybody talking about it before he did. And there's 3 or 4 candidates that are like, yeah, UBI, that's the way to go. So he either changed their minds or he brought people out that have the same mindset. One thing I want to talk about the Electoral College, then we'll rate him. The Electoral College, he says, should not be eliminated. He says, You should make electors determined on proportional basis. They do that, I think, in Maine. So whoever, they have like a way in which to make it so there's a proportion of those votes go to one person and then they go to another, and it makes it more even. He is one of those people who thinks you can't just get rid of the amendment. You can't just, you're never going to convince several states to be like, yeah, I want to get rid of this because it's the one thing that keeps them fucking relevant.
Yep.
So they're like, no, I'm not going to do that. So that's that. There's going to be a real hard push. It's never going to get rid of it through amendments. You're going to have to do it some other way. That one way is a workaround, and this is a workaround. Because they never really define how the electors need to act. So that's how his workaround works.
And I think to his point, the electoral college system is okay as long as it matches on a ratios basis. It matches the popular election. It can never not match, right? We should never have a system where the popular vote does not yield the same result as the electoral college.
And that's been two in the last 20 years.
Right.
So
yeah, that's fucked.
All right, so C is missing somebody here, Tom. C is missing somebody.
Throw him in there.
I think C, you need a Yang in there. Yeah. So Yang goes into C. So this is our ranking, folks. You can put it up on the board. Thank you, Ian. So if you guys want to take this ranking, you can take this ranking, and if you wanted to, you could send us yours. You can send it to us at dissonance.podcast@gmail.com. I will put a link in the YouTube video, I think, or Ian will, or I will, or we'll put it in chat for this particular one that we created, and you can save it, and you can send it to us and tell us what your ranking is. We'd love to see your ranking and see exactly who you think is the S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and the Biden tier.
The Biden tier? Who's excited about Biden?
I have no idea.
Who is like...
I have no idea.
Old people.
No idea. Fifth rate Jesus. Sophie, that's so mean.
Who did it? I mean, who did this? Who do anything to Cecil? He hasn't done anything to anybody. He hasn't done anything to anybody.
Be nice to me. All right, so we are going to cover one more. We're going to do one more story before we go. Everyone else gets an F.
Yeah, Liz and Bernie get an S. Everyone else gets an F, according to Brad Priapism.
That's like, Brad Priapism, that's like an on-off switch. That's not
amazing.
the same thing. That's not the same thing.
That's rough.
I like why would somebody say I'm a fifth-rate Jesus? I'm a first-rate Jesus.
I would go so high as to say second-rate.
I'm a first-rate Jesus. Fuck Jesus. Jesus is under me. Jesus likes how I look. That's how it works. All right. Cecil, I can't beat Tom in an arm wrestling match. We've tried it before. Tom's very strong. He beat me in an arm wrestling match many times.
Are we supposed to arm wrestle?
No, it can't. I don't want. No, they said that you'd break me in half. I don't know that you'd break me in half, but he definitely beat me in arm wrestling. All right, so here we go. Let's do a story.
If I broke you in half, you couldn't do all the work. That's a fucking. That's a lose for me.
It is lose. That's a F tier. We don't want that one. All right, let me call up a new story. So we have. Let's see. Do we want to do the? Let's poll the audience, guys. All right. So how are we going to do this? Ian, is there a fun way to do this? A fun way to decide? They can decide the next story. Can we figure that out real quickly on the fly, or is that too much to ask you to do?
Try something.
Okay. All right. So the two stories we have are this one. I'll call it up here.
All right.
There's two stories. I can close this out.
First story, Hank Cunanan. Legal abortion gives demonic spirits the blood right to carry out school shootings in America.
That one sounds pretty good. But let's not forget our favorite guy, Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh, Jesse Lee says Andrew Yang should go back to China or wherever he came from.
So, guys, Ian, I don't know how you're going to figure this out, but let's see this if we can figure this out, Ian. If there's a poll or a thing, Ian's going to figure it out. We're just gonna look at chat for a few minutes and let Ian figure it out. I won't bother him. I won't bother him. Don't type it in chat because we're not going to count that.
I don't know how this works. It's just somebody voted for demon abortions. All right.
Jesus is a cut rate Cecil. Thank you, Stephen.
Ouch.
Thank you very much. Jesus is a
Wait, is cut rate good?
Cut rates Cecil.
What
Yeah,
was the
cut
first
rates
story?
Cecil is bad.
What?
What was the first story?
The first story is Hank Kuhneman, legal abortion gives demonic spirits the blood right to carry out school shootings in America.
That's got so many things.
Really just has a lot going for it.
School shootings and abortions.
It is a longer clip, but Jesse Lee Peterson telling people to go back where they came from is fucking gold. So Andrew Yang, someone just typed in Andrew Yang.
I think you can do it like this. Okay, so people have to type exclamation point Yang. Sorry, exclamation point vote, exclamation point Yang.
So type
for
this.
Yank,
Say that.
and exclamation point vote, exclamation point Hank.
All right.
for
Try that out.
Hank.
So it's 2 exclamation points,
Weird.
Exclamation
like-
point.
space.
Yeah. No, exclamation point vote.
Oh, okay.
Get it.
I don't think that works.
And Yank is not one of them. Thank you.
Have you seen that?
Yeah. See, people are doing it, and it seems to be counting. We have 4 votes for Hank.
Oh, everybody's voting.
A lot of
Hank.
people are looking Hank. I can see this.
Oh,
Wait,
man.
we got Yang coming
We
in.
got a couple
got Yang.
Yangs.
All
I like
right.
the guy that said Yanks. He wanted them both.
10 more seconds. 10 seconds.
That's a different
10
live
second.
stream.
Hurry up, guys.
Oh my
10
God.
seconds. Oh, my
Type so
God.
fast.
Do it. Type it up. Holy
Goes.
shit.
Keep going. 10 seconds.
Oh, it was 10 seconds 10 seconds ago.
4.
It was 10 seconds 10 seconds ago.
I know.
God damn it.
Ah.
Oh, what's the final tally?
Okay. Actually, I think I made more seconds. Whoops. it's Hank.
We got inflation on the time.
It's Hank.
Yeah, Hank won.
It's Hank. Okay.
Official Ratman just yelling, "How does this work?" I don't know either. All right.
I love that one person's just like,
moment, I'm sorry.
what is happening? Oh, it's fucking
panic
amazing.
typing,
That's fucking amazing. I'm glad none of us know how any of this works. This is the best. This is the best. Thanks for joining
Okay.
us, everybody. This is amazing. All right, so we're gonna start playing Hank. This is Hank Kuhneman and his friend who's sitting next to him.
Doing this like in a hotel lobby and
They
like
are.
a fucking Marriott. Look at where they're at.
Like, tell me that isn't a lamp that you purchase in bulk.
That's what I mean. Look at that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the lamp and that shitty fucking table thing, ottoman
Absolutely.
thing. Nobody has that in a
Absolutely.
home.
Absolutely. Who has that much highlighter on something too? Like, fuck you. You just
Well,
highlight
you
the
gotta
whole
highlight
thing.
the whole thing.
Yeah, see, that's how you do it, is you just highlight everything and
What
then
I-
you just read it aloud.
What I do is I highlight everything that I don't think is important. It's just
Yeah, so it's a white. I only
Right.
read the white stuff.
Well, it's because I'm racist.
Yeah.
It's racist highlighting.
Doesn't this guy kind of look like an old melty Fonzie?
He does.
Here we go. Here we go.
God is going to hold us accountable when we're electing people into office that are pro-choice,
we're gonna talk about that.
pro-abortion. I know you probably
She's talking
bring
about it
that
right
up.
now. Does it not count because it's a woman?
You
Yeah.
and me, we're
Hey,
going to talk about it.
Don't get ahead of yourself, chickie.
The matter is, I believe God's going to hold the church accountable. The Bible says that judgment must begin at the house of God. We got to look at ourselves and what we're allowing to have liberty in the nation that is a hindrance to the gospel. Just those things Hank was talking
Yeah.
about. So we've got to rise up.
Yeah, I'm going to move quickly because I want to
Yeah,
share.
you already control everything. The court is conservative as fuck and also follows fucking Christian fucking liturgy every fucking week. So the Supreme Court loves you. The fucking Senate hasn't fucking stopped gobbling your knob in the past fucking 15 years.
Yep.
What else do you want? You got a president who's fucking basically tearing women's rights away left and right. He can't stop himself. What the fuck else do you want?
They want an actual open theocracy.
Yeah.
I think that's these guys. What these guys want is an open theocracy. What they want is Christian Iran.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
right.
what they
yeah,
want.
yeah.
some prophecies with you as well. But let's
Oh my
talk about
God, some
abortion.
fortunes. We're going to talk about some fucking Bible fortunes.
Praise the Lord.
We need to stop voting these people in office. Here's why.
Yeah.
Blood and spirit go together. Genesis chapter
This is
They
going to be
do.
amazing.
Blood and spirit do go together, but
Not
only if you don't lube
I was gonna
beforehand.
say, but if you'd like to lube properly, you can head over to adamandeve.com, enter Gloria
Yes.
checkout. Get 50%
Yes.
off almost any item, including the
Yes.
lubes of your choice.
Absolutely.
Blood does not need to be a part of your spirit.
Oh, yes.
With the blood
So,
of
you know,
Jesus.
sometimes God is saying little epiphanies to us, little things to us,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't know how to listen to his voice.
That's amazing. That is amazing with her awful, awful voice.
Oh, my gosh. She's the best.
so
2,
good.
in verse 7, it says that God formed man out of the dust of the earth.
Yeah, if you believe that, you're a fool. We're starting off with dust golems. That's what we're starting off this.
Okay, audience, put the camera on me, Ian. Put the camera on me.
No, we're having a serious
We're gonna have a
moment.
serious moment here. Okay, so, audience, that guy has the same number of votes you do. He votes the exact, when he goes to the poll and he punches his ticket, he has the same number of votes that you do. I want no excuses for no voting. There can never be another excuse for not voting, because a guy who thinks a magical being made a Play-Doh creature out of dust and fucking breathed into its mouth and performed CPR has the same number of votes you do. Okay, now that we've had that serious talk,
PSA over.
We're done.
And breathe into him the breath of lives. Okay, plural.
What?
Lives.
Lives. Would it be lives?
Lives.
Oh, I guess it's plural life.
What he was about to say was life cereal, but he cut himself off.
You just dip the dust monster in there. They're real good. I like this dust monster.
Who was the kid that liked it? He likes it.
Mikey.
Mikey.
Mikey likes it.
Plural. He had the ability to operate in the spirit realm and in the natural. And it says that he became a living soul. Leviticus 17:11, the life of all flesh is in the blood. When God breathed into man, that clay man from the earth that he was made from, blood began to flow.
Oh, yeah, it's dust in the blood. That's what, yeah.
He believes this is like a thing, like that a God thing.
Oh, yeah, he thinks it's literal.
And,
yeah. Like, yeah, exactly, yeah.
I know that people believe the literal, but like, it's so far removed from any, like, I can't wrap my head around this shit.
Yeah, man. Hey, we're not fucking Play-Doh people. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, I mean, seriously. But the thing is like, they will look and they'll be like, oh yeah, but evolution is silly. And you're like, you think a magic man breathed fucking into dust? Like, you think somebody formed something out of mud? What is wrong with you?
Oh my God.
And spirit began to be the life of the flesh as well, because it was in the blood. So
she's like, when you say it like that, then it doesn't sound absolutely fucking bonkers insane.
Dust in the blood. That's the key. You got dust in your blood.
You've got dust in the blood and the spirit.
We gotta pray, because they think we're crazy.
Nicely done, Ian. Nicely done. You know what happens when, what they call it when your blood runs cold? Sickle cell anemia. That's dad joke for all you guys out there.
Oh my God.
Blood and spirit go together. This is why witches use animal sacrifices.
Oh my
God. They use human sacrifices.
I like that they use human sacrifices. Like, okay, just so you know, there's human sacrifice happening. I don't have to produce any proof of human sacrifice.
Or the animal sacrifices.
Well, yeah.
Like, these things aren't happening. These things are, like, we have just decades of evidence of this not happening. Right. That's what we have.
But he's like those other guys who just like accuse people of pedophilia. Just like, I'll just say it out loud. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. The witches use blood sac. Get the fuck out of here. Show me the first witch.
Yeah.
Just give me one witch ever.
Give me a witch that can do something other than like a witch that takes pictures of her fucking cutting board or whatever.
Instagram witches. Oh, these almonds and dates on my cutting board. They're magic almonds. Anyway, high in selenium. Get the fuck out of here.
Because it draws a spirit as a medium to carry out certain agendas. The enemy now, since the legalizing of abortion on our land, has carried out the agenda of hell and has released spirits over our land.
Oh, okay. So since abortion became legal, we've had a Nixon, a Ford, a Reagan, two Bushes. You got your hand in two bushes, and then a Trump.
Yeah. So since then, we've had a morality, like
we've essentially had a Republican country for most of the years. Yeah, we had a couple of two-term Democrats, but that's only 16 years out of what, over 40?
Doesn't it tell you everything? Every single thing you need to know that they believe that America's morality problem started in the 70s.
Right.
that prior to this in their mind, God had blessed America with woo, and like Satan couldn't get. I gotta get in there, but I don't have the paperwork or whatever. But like because
somebody call my lawyer.
Like because up until then, like slavery wasn't enough.
Right? Yeah. No.
Right.
Yeah.
The wholesale disenfranchisement of women wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Like the lynchings of black people, like all
children
of these
working
things,
to death in a factory.
Yeah, just like they're being ground up into the gears of textile factories.
Exactly. They were used as lubricant at one point.
None of
cotton.
that had anything to do with the moral problem of America. None. It wasn't until it was like, well, abortion is like God's like, well, that was the last straw.
And it's funny too, because when you look back at Roe and you read what the restrictions that are just in Roe versus Wade already, you're just like, well, Jesus, man, like it's so restrictive as it is. And you're like, well, I don't understand what all the pushback is. Everybody thinks that Roe v. Wade means you could just like fucking like shoot a baby out of you and like fucking skeet shoot it as it flies in the air. Like that's what they think it means. But it's like there's like a ton of restrictions on it.
I would support that.
I would be fine with it too.
I think you should be able to abort up until age 13.
And I misspoke. It's not really skeet shoot. It's more like sporting clays. It bounces when it goes. So it's like shooting one of those rabbits. Like it bounces a little bit as it goes.
This is why there is such a fight right now on our land. Who is going to get the blood right of the United States of America? God is
like a
wanting-
giant belt that you get with it. Oh, I've got the blood right belt.
Who's going to get this blood right?
There's a blood right fight.
Yeah.
Ooh, say that 5 times fast. Tonight there's a blood right fight.
Through the shed blood of his son to release his spirit with another great awakening.
I feel like I need a flow chart. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Okay, I don't have any idea, but I like that he does the explanatory
He does
hand
like
motions.
the synergy hand motion,
Right, he's
right?
just like, so the Jesus killed himself, but then it didn't, but okay, and then his blood went into the clay, and the clay flowed up
the
to
clay
the spirit.
did a claymation thing, and then
but he's like,
and
then
it turned
follow
into
me,
California
guys.
raisins. And
But if we are fear-prone, divided, and shedding innocent...
Look at him. He's like, it's like his itsy bitsy spider. Down came the blood
and watch the sinners
golem out. Yeah.
blood through abortion and legalizing it and voting people in, it's furthering the agenda
I fucking don't know
of
what
the
he's talking
demonic
about.
blood right for those spirits then to rule over our land.
It's like when you get into an argument on Facebook and somebody posts this wall of text and you're just like, I give up. Like, I just know you win. That's fine. I don't want to read that. I'm not going to read that. And they put in like a million falsehoods right in a row and you're just like, I can't refute all your points because I don't have enough time in my day. So I'm just going to let you be ignorant and move on with my life.
Right.
Yeah. That's what this feels like.
No.
I feel like I have fatigue just listening to him. Like I'm fatigued.
Yes. Yeah. How would you not be? This is like the domino rally version of like arguments.
Exactly,
Just
right?
Like, click. All right, I got it.
I quit. I quit. Tapping out.
Look at him. He's still.
I know he's still gesticulating.
Take prayer out of the schools.
Come on.
Right?
That's
Bring
right.
violence to our schools now.
So
I saw
powerful.
someone say it used to be prayers in the school, now it's bullets.
Clever. Terribly clever.
man.
Terribly clever.
That is
There's been bullets in schools
definitely
for a long time.
tradesy.
There's bullets in schools for a long time.
Yeah. I mean, there was bullets at that Amish school. Remember, like,
yeah.
who prays more than the Amish?
Yeah, right?
The Amish are always praying. That's just all that they do. They put a barn up while they're praying.
Right, yeah.
It's a constant prayer.
Yeah.
And that guy showed up and like shot up that fucking Amish school.
Right. Yeah.
We have people that are confused in their gender identity. Okay, it's released a whole lot.
Fuck, where does that come from?
I don't even know why.
Like that's just like out of left field. He's just like, and trans people exist.
I know, it's just
okay, cool
Right, like-
story. Literally doesn't affect you. The end.
right. Like that's a very individual problem. He's talking about it like as if it were a social ill.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Like, yeah, I have this gender identity concern. It's like, okay, well, that's not got a larger social context that affects the rest of us. Like,
Yeah.
we'd like to support you.
Dun 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 dun. Yeah.
What?
Out of Pandora's box. When we shut that door, I'm telling you, it's part of what is going to unleash the greatest move of God.
Okay,
that
now
this
his hand
nation-
motions don't have anything to do with what he's saying.
Yeah, now he's just like signing for a rapper on stage. He's just like signing. He's doing the SL thing. Have you ever seen that woman? There's a woman who they hire at like these concerts who does ASL for like the. And she is baller. She's
Really?
awesome. She like dances with the music and she does all the sign language to the lyrics.
That's
and there's
amazing.
Like, and there's like one of those rappers who's like super fast rapper, like who just like really just super speed raps, almost like Micro Machines raps. And she is just constantly moving and he's standing right next to her and like pointing at her as he's It's fucking amazing.
I've gotta
like
see
it's
this.
amazing. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm sure someone will post it in the chat. But yeah,
I love
it's a
the
really
person
great
that like
video.
was hired to do the ASL and they didn't know it.
Oh,
Do you
that was
remember
amazing!
That? And they just
and they're like, "Burka, burka." They're like
Just
doing all
making
kinds of
random
oh,
signs.
it's amazing.
It's
I can't.
so fucked
that's
up.
so rude. It's so rude.
It's great though.
has ever seen. That's why in New York City, when that governor and those were voting in that you can kill a child in the womb up to 9 months and even an hour after the womb.
An hour after the womb? You give the kid an hour head start.
The most dangerous game.
It's like, get going, newborn. And it's just laying there like, mama. It can't do anything. It just, you're like, get going. This is the running game, motherfucker. You better get moving, bitch.
They just put a thing and rolly carted down a hill.
It's like Benny Hill. It's like bouncing on, and they're all chasing after it. Oh my gosh, an hour. Get an hour.
Okay.
There's like an arbiter in the side who like starts a stopwatch the moment it comes out. It's like, okay, you have an hour to decide. You get to make up your mind in this hour if you want to murder it.
There's a best if killed by date on it.
It's right on its foot. It's stamped at the bottom. Oh,
still better than a Budweiser.
Yeah. That is amazing to me that they're just like, yeah, no, you get an hour. Like, okay, so the bill they're talking about, in all seriousness, the bill they're talking about is the one that passed in New York, and I want to read part of it. It says, the act removes the need for a doctor to perform some abortions and takes abortion out of the criminal code, making it a public health issue. However, the most controversial aspect of the RHA is the provision allowing abortions after 24 weeks in cases where there is an absence of fetal viability or abortion is necessary to protect the patient's life or health.
Yeah, but they never mention that.
They never talk about that, right?
A kid that's going to be born unviable, like fucking full of birth defects and fucked upness.
Like really,
right?
really
not
bad.
Going to live.
Not going to live.
Yeah, not like going to live with fucking an asterisk.
Yeah.
But like not going to live, it's not viable. And
Yeah.
doctors are real fucking cautious about making those distinctions.
Yeah.
Real cautious. Or like, she's going to die if we don't do this.
Well, I can't believe that they're just like, no, we shouldn't even look at that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, you have a woman who's laying there and she's like, no, you're not worth what you're carrying.
Yeah, no. You have to be an incubator even if it kills you.
No matter what.
Yeah.
They ought to be ashamed of themselves, and you who vote these people in need to do a heart check.
Nobody who listens to you votes.
Do a heart check, make sure it's made of dust. So that's what you need to do. See if your heart's made of dust.
On the Lord's side, do you really understand that you're hindering God's agenda? You're furthering through a legal blood right.
Legal blood rights. Those are the hardest to get subpoenas for, the legal blood rights. They're difficult.
Who adjudicates these things? What do they think happens? Like up in like heaven or hell, somebody's writing laws?
It's not heaven.
That's demonic, everybody. It is absolutely demonic.
I love that the idea that like demons can't break the law. Demons are just like, well, everyone's got to follow rules.
Sorry, I'm bound by this. I just got to take it. It's what they said.
It was posted on the bathroom at Quiznos. You got to wash your hands before returning to work.
Wash your hands with blood. Duh.
Of the shedding of human blood in the womb, the furthering of the demonic agenda of hell to destroy this nation. And these politicians who are bent on liberalism and evil.
Those are synonymous, by the way. I just want to
same
say
thing.
liberalism and evil are synonymous.
Whatever.
They don't care about the church. They don't care about the life of a child in a womb. And they don't care about the future of America that has the invasion of God to it.
What does that even mean?
That last sentence he just peed
I
out.
love that she's just like, to it. And he's like, yep. Whatever you say.
That has the
Whatever you
invasion of
say.
God to it.
It has an invasion of God to it. Good stuff. Oh, so how's everybody doing? You're looking good in chat over there, huh?
I like the checks heart. Nope, still black, cold, and pumping bile. Sorry, bud.
But it is made of dust, so we're good there.
Mary Smith, that's a great one. Wombs shed blood every month.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, they don't like to admit that, though.
That
makes you unclean, mother.
That's why you have to sleep outside.
Yeah.
What is this guy's point? Brian, nobody knows.
Nobody knows what
this
his point
guy's
is.
point is.
Nobody. The thing is like he just like listed a bunch of shit and moved his arms.
Yeah.
Like he just like listed all bad stuff and he's like, it's bad. Blah.
If I am scary enough and gesticulate like an Italian grandmother, like
you're so skinny, huh? Oh God. I think we're gonna wrap it up here soon,
think so.
guys. I think we've been going for an hour and a half. Did, everybody
guys,
have a
thanks so
fun-
much for listening.
Did everybody have a fun time on the stream today? Hopefully you guys enjoyed yourself. Hopefully we get some of these what do you call it? The I got to do one of those things before we go. Let me do one of these. Which one?
All right.
I'll do a YouTube one. Let me do one of these. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm going to do a Twitch here in a second. If wherever you're at, wherever you're watching us, if you want to subscribe, you want to follow us, they're different at different places. So you want to subscribe or follow, like us on Facebook. That's another thing that you can do. We also, I would do Mixer, but fuck them. And if you're on Twitter, you can follow us on Twitter too if you're watching on Twitter. So, thanks so much for everything, guys. Thanks for hanging out and for being patrons. We love our patrons. We still are waiting to get Gary the Unicorn back. Gary's not working. He's just there's a problem with the API.
God,
there he
this
is.
is for blessings on my
But that's just a test one. So we want to get Gary working, but we're having problems with the API right now. So as soon as that happens, we're gonna have patrons. When patrons sign up, they'll be able to join in and make Gary the Unicorn fart glitter. We're gonna leave you those guys though. We're gonna take off. We have a show coming out this week, and we're hopefully gonna have a guest on soon. We're gonna do another live stream. We hope soon. We'll let you guys know when that's gonna happen well in advance on our regular show. Be sure to subscribe, rate us in places.
Yeah.
And we love you guys. Thanks for joining us.
Take care, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks so much.
We're gonna look at a camera.
Wait.
What?
Nope.
What are we waiting for?
What?
Oh, before we had a patron called Lily that signed up.
Oh, thank you,
Lily,
Lily.
thank
You so much, Lily. We really do appreciate it. Next time, we promise that those will be a thing.
But you guys notice how we said Lily's name?
Yeah,
we said it like 3 times. Lily.
Yeah, Lily. Lily got a lot of attention.
We
from
like
us.
Lily.
So
Just saying.
so we're gonna leave you guys with the glory hole thing here. Here we go.
Glory hole in extremely long black cock.
Bye, everybody. Probably still live, but that's okay. Bye. Going down.
Are we
Going
out?
down.
Yeah.
Going down.
And
That was
Going
great.